Okay, in this video, I'm going to reteach you how to do dihybrid crosses if you were struggling with it. So in your dihybrid practice packet, I'm actually going to do two problems together, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to follow along. Okay, so before almost every little dihybrid cross, there's some information about what traits you're looking at. In dihybrid crosses, we are looking at two different traits. Okay, so in this problem number 7, which is in the second page of your packet, we are looking at fruit flies, specifically looking at their wings and their eye color. All right, so I'm going to get a pen here because we're going to do some work. Okay, so it says a purebred. All right, purebred, does that mean homozygous or heterozygous? Homozygous. Okay, purebred's like 100% that. The letters are going to be the same. So it says purebred wingless. So wingless, I look down here for my key. Okay, they're purebred and they're wingless, so that's going to be 2 little a's. Red-eyed. Okay, red. I'm going to use the letter E, capital E, because it's purebred for red eyes. It's homozygous for it. Is crossed with purebred. Oh, another homozygous individual here. Winged. So winged. Two big A's. Sepia. Okay, sepia, 2 little e's. Okay, so when we want to find the parents, we want to distribute the letters. Okay, we need a letter for each trait. And so to do that, you take the first letter and you pair it up with the second set of letters with, like, so here's one set, here's the second set, but the first letter of the second set. So the gamete here is going to be little a, big E. You do the same thing, but then you go with the second letter of that second set. So little a, big E. All right, then you do the same thing with the second letter of the first set, with the first letter of the second set. Little a, big E. Let's see if writing with my mouse is better. And then with the second set, the second letter of the second set, little a, little e. So there's the gametes for parent 1 right here. So then over here with the second parent, we'll distribute. So big A, little e, and you'll distribute with the second letter, big A, little e, and then we'll do the same thing. Second letter of the first set, the first letter of the second set. Big A, little e, and then the second set. Big A, little e. So these are the gametes. Okay, they're carrying half the information. Here they're big A, but the gametes only have one letter for that and one letter from here. So gamete set number 1, gamete set number 2. So, it doesn't matter where you put this column. You could put it here, or you can stick it across. Okay, so I'll just go down. Why not? All right, so big A, little a, big E, all the way down here. So that parents, gametes, they're all right here. You got to make sure they're all on the same side. So now I take a look at parent number 2, and I'll stick their gametes on top. Big A, little e, big A, little e, big A, little e, big A, little e. All right, so now the fun part is filling it in. Always write, when you look at the first letters, okay, if I'm dealing with A's, you always want to write that capital letter first. You would not go little a, big A. Don't do that. It will make your life difficult. So big A, little a, and then I look at my E's. Oh, I got a big E here, and then I write the little e. All right, filling in this one. I got a big A, and then little a. I see that I got a big E, little e. And you continue to fill it in. So all of these, because look, I mean, big A, big E, little e. All of these are going to be big A, big E, little e. Okay? You can tell that this assignment is going to be so fun. Yes, writing with a mouse instead of on the trackpad is so much easier. Okay, so then it says 2 of the F1 flies are mated to produce an F2 generation. Well, you notice that all of these flies in the F1, they have the same genotype. So their letters are big A, big E, little e. Big A, big E, little e. And then it goes on to figure out the gametes, okay? Change my pen to a different color here. And how do you do that? All right, well, it looks like one set of your gametes is going to be big A, big E. And then you'll distribute it to the second set, big A, little e. Okay. All right, look at the second letter. Distribute it through little a, big E. And then a little a, little e. So there's the gametes for parent number 1. Looking at parent number 2, distribute it through big A, big E, big A, little e. And then I look at my second set, little a, big E, little a, little e. All right, and then you'd write those at your next Punnett square, and then you'd fill it in, and then the fun part is the genotypic ratios. So remember that geno means the letters, and you need every letter combination that you see in your dihybrid cross. Okay, so you know, for that first group, it would be these 2 gametes together. So it would be big A. So your first square, if I'm not mistaken, should be big A, big E, big E. So you would write, all right, big A, big E. And then you would sit there and you'd find all the other big A, big E, big E's. And the next one down would be big A, big E, little e. And you'd sit there and you'd count all those. Okay, so every single letter combination. Do the genotype first, because then when you get to the pheno, that's like, what does it look like? The physical characteristics. And I don't think I'm going to be able to fit that word on here. And I'm writing in cursive, and, you know, I don't know. And I totally spelled that wrong. But anyways, physical characteristics. So if you are big A, what's your trait? Wings. You know, so you would say wings. Winged or winged, I don't care, wing. And then big E means you have red. So winged and red eyes, right? And you sit there and you'd count all the genotypes that have a big A and a big E. Even if the second letter was lowercase, it would still be red-eyed. If the second letter was lowercase, it would still be winged. As long as you have that dominant traits, or that dominant letter, then you will be, you know, wing and red eyes. Okay. Okay, another one that we're going to do together, and we will do this one in its entirety. So, yay. It deals with mice, because then the end of the packet is all about mice. So, it says at the top, so if you go to the 3rd page, okay, there's a paragraph at the top, very, very top. In mice, the ability to run normally is a dominant trait. Mice with this trait are called run-in mice, big R. The recessive trait causes mice to run in circles only. Mice with this trait are called waltz-in mice, little r. Hair color is also inherited in mice. Black hair is dominant over brown hair. For each of the following problems, fill in the Punnett square provided and give the genotypic and phenotypic ratios. So I'm going to jump down to 16, 17, and 18, where it says cross a heterozygous. So heterozygous means you have one of each. You are a hybrid. Heterozygous run-in brown mouse. So heterozygous run-in, look at the letters I'm going to be using. It's going to be big R, little r. Brown, well, here brown is the recessive trait. And the only way to show that recessive trait is to be two little b's. Okay? So yes, they were heterozygous for run-in, but their fur color is brown, which is recessive. And the only way you can show that is two little b's. So that's parent number 1. Is crossed with a heterozygous run-in. All right, so using the letter R's, hetero means one of each. They're different. Big R, little r. Homozygous black. Homozygous means the letters are the same, and then the trait black is with big B. Okay, so that's what the parents look like. So now I got to figure out the gametes. So big R, little b. Oh, good Lord. All right. Second set. Big R, little b. Little r, little b. Little r, little b. Okay, so now I look at the second parent. Big R, big B. Big R, big B. Little r, big B. Little r, big B. Okay, so now the fun part is filling this in. So I got 2 big R's, big B, little b. 2 big R's, big B, little b. Hope that is not an R. Good Lord. Okay. Erase. Sorry. Okay. Here I have 1 big R, 1 little r, big B, little b. 1 big R, 1 little r, big B, little b. Moving on to the second column. 2 big R's. Then I see I got 1 big B, little b. 2 big R's. Big B, little b. Here, big R, little r. Big B, little b. Big R, little r. Big B, little b. Third column, almost there. Big R, little r. Big B, little b. Big R, little r. Big B, little b. Here, we get our first 2 little r's. Little r, big B, little b. Little r, big B, little b. Final column. Big R, big B, little b. Big R, big B, little b. Okay, another 2 little r's. Big B, little b. 2 r's, 2 little r's. Big B, little b. Okay. There it is. In its glory. Genotypic means letters. All right, so I'm just going to look at the first square. Big R, big B, little b. So I write that out. Big R, big B, little b. So I count how many I have. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think those are the only big R's that I see here. All right, so I got 4 out of 16. Okay, so I guess you could say 25%, but we want ratios, so 4 out of 16. Okay, the next letter combination that I see here, big R, big B, little b. Big R, big B, little b. Okay, so I'll use X's here. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8. I just wanted to make sure. 8 out of 16. All right, so all of these have been accounted for. So now I'm at this little square down here, and it's little r, little b. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. No, sorry, take that back. Little r, big B, little b, my bad. Okay, so how many do I have of that? 4. I just had my genotype wrong. Okay, and they add up to 16, so everything's been accounted for. So then the phenotypic is, what do they look like? So if you're big R, big B, little b, what are you? Well, big R is running, right? So I'll just abbreviate running for run. And then if you are big B, little b, that means they are black. Fur. Running black mice. Okay. So how many of the genotypes is it where they have a big R and a big B? Well, these guys all have a big R and a big B, so there's 4 there. And this one, big R, big B, so there's 8 there. So 4 plus 8 is 12 out of 16. Okay. This little r, they're not black fur. Or sorry, they're not running mice, they're waltzing. Okay. So they didn't fit the bill, even though they had black fur. So my other phenotype, I only have one genotype left, little r, which means brown. Brown fur. And then big B, little b. Oh, guys, I should not be doing this at 4:15 in the morning. Erase. I wish I could, like, take that last 30 seconds back. Sorry. If you are little r, you are waltzing. Good Lord. So I'm going to write waltz. And if you are big B, little b, you are black fur. So how many waltzing black mice are there? There are 4 there. Cool. So I took up like 18 minutes here. But that is how you do this thing, all right? So you still have 13, 14, and 15. Okay, that deals with waltzing brown mouse. And then the back page is heterozygous running, heterozygous black with a homozygous running, homozygous black. And then the front page. And then you got to finish the fruit flies. If you have questions, bring them to class on Monday.